especially since the 1920s, is what we might call American consumerism. I don't think capitalism as a closed system ever existed, and it really doesn't help to call something capitalism because it doesn't give you any tools to analyze it, why it breaks down constantly and the crises and so forth. But consumerism actually grew out of the researches of the nephew of Sigmund Freud, Edward Bernays. He created the modern Madison Avenue advertising world. And before that, he was an advisor to President Wilson during the World War I. He was part of a team, a psychological warfare team. It was a secret team called the Inquiry, that they developed the motto that World War I, America going into a war in Europe was necessary to make the world safe for democracy. Well, that was a complete public relations gimmick to convince an anti-war American population that the war against Germany was the right one and in favor of Britain, because J.P. Morgan had loaned so much money to the British and the French that they stood to be bankrupted if the British lost the war. And but this consumerism, this manipulation of our tastes and our appetites, the American, and this is not my words, I'm no Marxist, but the American military developed the notion that America is the first empire in history that extends its power through the export of culture of the lowest common denominator. And he gives the example, the Rambo movies that are watched on pirated videos in the remotest parts of Africa and copied and sent around. Well, this creates a magnet. Look at the Soviet Union after the collapse in 1991. The young people in the former Soviet Union had an image of America through the culture export. And they were willing literally to die for it in 90, 91, 89 in East Germany when the wall fell down. I was living in Germany. And the American dream was all they could think of. But it was American culture, American clothes, the movies, the images that are subliminally created, the appetites. And that is an extremely powerful and extremely important part of culture in the most banal sense and the most insidious sense. And that's very conscious. Hollywood is intimately interlinked with Wall Street and with Washington. Intimately.
Mm-hmm. Htjela bi da malo izađemo iz ove teme. Evo, baš smo nedavno radili u ovoj emisiji temu o digitalnom zaboravu. Postavili smo pitanje da li naše vrijeme sve pamti ili sve zaboravlja. Dakle, neprestano smo pod nadzorom, što god radili, dakle, provlačimo karticu, telefoniramo ili putujemo, ostavljamo neki trag, a istovremeno toliko je informacija da se čini kao da je posve nebitno što god mi rekli. Kako vi gledate, dakle, kao neki pripadnik analognog, mogli bismo reći, doba, na kraju krajeva to i ja pripadam i moja generacija, kako gledate na ovaj današnji digitalni svijet i mlade ljude u njemu? Je li vas ponekad možda i strah toga što se događa u toj u našoj digitalnoj budućnosti, što bi se tek moglo događati?
Well, like most people, I use smartphones for my work. I use computers. I couldn't exist without the internet. But I think there's a very pernicious trend in this digital age that young people, especially when they start at age 3 by playing around with the smartphones or a computer at home, and for the parents who are harried and have a lot on their plate to do as parents, it's a relief that the child is occupied with something. What we're losing are children who learn the creative playing with other friends outside and moving around. They become addicts to the instant response of a mouse click, such that when the world doesn't respond to their movement of their thumb, they get all upset and disorganized. I think that's a very, very dangerous trend, and one that we should be extremely careful of exposing young people to before a certain age.
Osjećate li vi možda osobno neku promjenu u načinu na koji čitate ili komunicirate upravo zbog novih tehnologija? Naime, upravo u svijetu traju velike rasprave oko toga na koji način nove tehnologije mijenjaju naš mozak, koliko u stvari manje koncentracije imamo dok čitamo, dok istražujemo neku temu. Upravo i mi, kao i ti mladi ljudi, očekujemo odmah podatak, nemamo više vremena puno istraživati. Vi za vaše knjige morate u stvari to raditi i vjerujem pročitati brojne i nepotrebne stvari da bi došli do pravog podatka. Pa me zanima koliko je to možda promijenilo i vaš način rada i vaše istraživanje.
It has been changed in a very positive way through the use of the internet, but one has to know how to use the internet, how to search. It makes it possible to get archived documents, government documents, in a matter of minutes rather than having to go to a special library in Germany or in Washington and so forth to get a lot of those documents. That being said, I've been doing the kind of research that I'm doing as an economist, as a geopolitical analyst for more than 38 years now. And my research is always a combination of human dialogues and discussions with people I've known sometimes 25, 30 years. I know the quality of their mind. I know the quality of their analysis, of books, of documents, research documents, combined with the internet. So my patterns of research have changed enormously over the years, but fundamentally the content has not changed.
Htjela bih malo da, evo, to su ovako možda sve pomalo intimna pitanja, ali mislim da možda gledatelje to zanima, da nam malo opišete o vašem preseljenju, dakle život u Americi, život u današnjoj Europi, koliko se razlikuje, koliko vam je možda draže biti u Europi ili vam je bilo bolje u Americi, evo možda neka iskustva vaša osobna.
What I witnessed, I came to Europe as a graduate student at the University of Stockholm and lived there for 2 years. That